Hello? Can you all hear me here? Can you hear me?
Papa, can you hear me?
Oh boy. Okay, everybody. Hey, my gay robot, what's up, yo? Luigi's in the house. In the house, yeah, in the house, man. Wow, I am right under a freaking AC. Boom. So, hopefully Twitch is going to work today. I was noticing, went through, looked at all the feed and whatnot, trying to figure out what the hell's going on. I don't know what the crap I'm looking at. But from what I saw, it looked like, yes, the stream conked out on me. Not Twitch, not my computer, none of that. Alex is in the house. He's over here. Good. He's on Twitch. Perfect. And what was happening was I also changed my bit rate on Twitch, on OBS, dropped it by 500 points, and they said that might do it. So let's see. Let's find out. If Twitch goes screwy and haywire, we're going to keep going because today, ladies and gentlemen, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time. It's time for the Mind Scrambler podcast today. You know why? I'm going to tell you something funny. So, you guys know, did the Mind Scrambler podcast a while back. Loch Ness Mobster is in the house. Oh, and Loch Ness, about the numbers for the flu stuff. Yeah, you were way off. I did some checking, and I was right. You were right in one category, but it was way off. So anyway, we were both right. My point today is we're going to talk about sucking until you don't. It's okay to suck until you don't. And that's amazing because I'm going to follow that up with probably don't dread, D-R-E-D-D, judging because you are the law. Pretty cool, huh? I think it's going to be fun. I've got some good ones coming up and I'm excited about it. And here's why. Beta Cesar, hello. The reason why I'm so excited about it is because as of this moment, right now, you can go to spikespencer.com, click on podcast, and there are 4 edited shows. Done. And here's the thing. I found out that my podcast has been up on Apple for over a month. Nobody told me. What? Nobody. I didn't know. I couldn't find it. I go to podcast. I go to iTunes podcast and hit search, and mine wasn't there. But then somehow I found it, and I'm like, it is there, but I can't search for it. Something ain't working. So I've gone back and I'm tweaking and twerking and twerking and all the good stuff. So the point is, it is there. And it was awesome. Kagomi Yorika 7. I have been fantastic. I've been extraordinary. How have you been? If you haven't seen me in a while, you don't know I'm coming to you live from Australia. G'day, mate. I'm Dan Under, where everything will kill ya. And it's true. Because I've seen the spiders now. They're big. They are big. Although, for some reason in Burbank now, the spiders are freaking huge. I mean, that big, and they make these webs across the trees. So it's kind of the same type of spider, well, not the same type of spiders, but the same like big web is down here, but the spiders here are actually smaller in the middle, but they have these really long ass legs. So they're like freaking big. I'm like, ah. So you know what you need for those? Fire. I did a post. I said, literally one day we had 7 of those in our yard in Burbank. 7. I'm like, you walk out and you're like, oh my God, it's the Hobbit. It's a scene from the freaking Hobbit in that freaking wood, right? And I'm just like, I've got wasp spray and I'm just like 20 feet away going, zapping that son of a, definitely not Daddy Longlegs, baby. No. We were down in Currumbin Wildlife Park, and we saw some of these big bad boys, and we talked to some of the workers there, and they go, oh yeah, don't touch it, it'll kill you, you know. I'm like, oh, thank you for that. I knew that, you know, because it's Australia, everything will kill you. It's like, what's that? It's a leaf. Look out, mate. It'll kill you. Jesus, man. It's crazy. And I love Australia so much. Last night I saw another one of those big-ass flying foxes. Super cool. Yeah, I guess I have arachnophobia too, but to me, people are like going, oh my, you have arachnophobia. I'm like, no, I've dealt with spiders all my life. I'm from Texas. I mean, and the big honking ones there too. I just killed them because they will bite you. And some of them can kill you. I'm like, is that arachnophobia? I'm like, that's a lion. That lion might kill me. Do I have a lionophobia? Yeah, I have a phobia to dying. That thing will kill you. I'm not going to go poke it in the dick. I mean, come on, people. Jeez. Look up gimpy plant, what it does to you. I don't want to look up a gimpy plant. Are they here in Australia? I want to know what it is so I don't, like, hand a piece of it to my son. Wolf spiders. Yeah, they're big. Dude, crazy. Gimpy plant. Okay, great. I want that. Yeah. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I saw a tarantula at like the zoo or something. Oh, actually, and I saw a bunch of them once. I remember when I was a kid, we were driving in Weatherford, Oklahoma, and it was during the summer, and we were driving back, and as the sun was setting, we were driving along, and I started seeing things on the road, and my uncle who was driving, he's like, oh yeah, those are spiders. Yeah, they're tarantulas. They're going across the road. Now that it's cooling off, they're moving back and forth. I think we saw like 45 of those little bastards. I'm like, yeah. I am not one for spiders, man. Not my thing, people. Okay, so today, I don't want all you guys to help me out here. So when I'm doing my podcast, as usual, since it's been a while, it's been, a couple months almost since I did my last one back in Burbank. When I'm doing my podcast, I will not be talking to you guys. I will not be fielding questions. So if there is a question that you have for me, go ahead and put it in, and I will discuss it afterwards when I chat with you guys again on the back end. That's the usual. That's how the Mind Scrambler show, which is all this action, that's how this works. It's Sky Fox. Hello, Sky Fox. I'm so glad to have you joining us. So yeah, it's like I'm not going to be able to talk to you during my podcast because I am recording it. Therefore, I'm going to pull the audio, and that's going to be my podcast, which is happening. And man, there's some really cool things that are going to be coming up. I'm going to start asking people for interviews on a podcast. And I'm excited. And I'm reaching out now to not just people in per se the nerddom world. I've been thinking, well, I know some people who are in the personal growth world who are also nerds. So it's just not just like, hey, there's a voice actor or an animator or et cetera, et cetera. Here's somebody deep in the personal growth world, and they're also one of us. I'm going to bring it all together. And there's one really, really big one I'm hoping to get. I think he's an anime fan, so we'll see. Angel, Octopus, Blood Acid, movie Alien. Hell, could be all of it. You might be thinking of, what was the other one? The prequel to Alien, Prometheus. Remember how they got the facehugger was like huge, which really makes no sense to me. But, hey. There was a lot in that movie that did not make any sense to me. I may have to watch it again and figure it out because there was some stupidity in that movie. Anyway, Red is in the house. Welcome, Red. And as I was telling everybody else, let's check it out if you guys want to check it out. Anyway, spikespncer.com/podcast. All right, I think that'll take you to it. Bam. I think that is the link that will take you to my podcast page now. Somebody click on that and tell me if it goes straight there. That'd be cool. Let's see. Get a haircut, or the mall cutter's doing something different today. No. I just slapped on a little. My hair was like puffy. I looked a little bit like a Q-tip or Beaker. My wife says I look like Beaker when I do that. Oh, no, I didn't type it over here on Unlocked. I typed it on Twitch. So you guys need to come over to Twitch, go to Spike Spencer Speaks, and that's where I am. The link works. Awesome. Those are my first 4 podcasts that are up there. Proud of them. I mean, it's not 100%, but we're going to talk about that today. You know why? Because we're going to talk about sucking until you don't. Boom, bada boom, 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 boom. I am in a good mood today, as you guys can tell. I'm so excited to get things done. The Reluctant Heroes journey is up and running. Thank you to you guys who are a part of it. You know we're going to have a great time. And now I'm focusing on my podcast, finding out that my podcast was already out there. I'm like, holy crap, I got to upload all my other ones so I can get a bunch of new podcasts up there and then start marketing. I'm going to start marketing because once I get the podcast up and running, then I get to reach out to all these guests that I want to have, start scheduling that, and I get to put together some products, some of my coaching products that I have on my site that now I can have links to. I've got to finish those up, but that's like the next step. Right now, it's like getting the word out, doing what I like. This is my zone of genius that we'll talk about. I should probably talk about that in here too. Zone of genius. And I've been coming up with a lot of great ideas for, nerddom world titles, because titles are my thing. I know that they're all like, well, SEO, you need to title yours, how to do blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, you know what? Everybody does that. Nobody's going to go, how to be a better human being, and they're going to come find my freaking podcast. No. But if I have a podcast that says, time to Kobayashi Maru that shit, that'll work, right? Or like I said, one of my first titles is, you farted, and that's okay. It's all about self-love, man. It's all about you're human. So I have some fun titles, and I have some more coming up, and I'm very excited about that. So what else? I know something. Follow and subscribe to Twitch. Yeah, Moobot. Boom, boom. Now, does the Moobot automatically do this, or is somebody doing that for me with Moobot? Because if you're doing it for me, thank you, because I have no idea who's doing it. Finch Zero is here. Hello. Good to see you guys, everybody. Everybody. Oh. That's the 90s. I was there. And the 80s. And the 70s. So, I was very young in the 70s, but I remember it. Anyway. Oh, man. What a day. So yesterday, I think I told you guys. No, I didn't. I told you last night if you were on Unlock. So yesterday was Good Friday. Apparently on Good Friday in Australia, they shut down all the liquor stores. And we didn't have any wine for dinner. I was like, oh, no. So that was rough, not having wine with dinner. I felt totally not European. I'm just saying. So we went today and we got a pant load of wine to get us through the next week or two. Seriously, we drink about a bottle of wine a night. That's really only 2.5 glasses. And like medically, 2 glasses of red wine a day is like really nice. So, we're just keeping healthy. The Jesus way. Captain Nim is here too. What's up, y'all? I love it. I love that you guys are here. I've been working on more content. I'm doing this every day. If you can't wait for Supernova. Oh man, it's telling me I am waiting for Supernova. Here's the thing. You guys know, we're here. Supernova is supposed to be in June. If this doesn't happen, we got to go home and then fly back whenever Supernova happens. If it's scheduled where I can do it, because I've got another con that keeps me from going from Supernova Sydney to Perth, because I have another con after Supernova Sydney. I got to go back to Wichita. So I got to see what's going to happen. Loch Ness Mobster, all kinds of stuff, but I'm getting ready to start my podcast. We'll talk about music later. Here we go. Yeah, we're talking about the V6 extension as a possibility. I'm waiting to hear more on that. Okay, everybody, here we go. It's time for my podcast. I've got to shut this down because I got AC right behind me, and it's got to be cool. All right, guys, Here we go. We're going to start my podcast right now. We're going to go for 30 minutes or so, and then we will be done. Are y'all ready? If anybody else jumps in and says, hey, why isn't he talking to me? Let him know. Podcast is happening right now. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Hello and welcome to my podcast once again, the Mind Scrambler Podcast. I'm your host, Spike Spencer, and I am live from Australia, or as some people like to call it, Australia. And do I have anything in my teeth? Just checking. All right. So I had some work done before I left the States, and a little background on why this is live from Australia. This is my first podcast in a while. Why is that the case? Well, big long story. Long story medium. I am in Australia. I have been here for over a month now. I was appearing at a convention called Supernova. That is a big pop comic, anime, animation, all sci-fi nerddom, awesome convention. And so I was appearing in Melbourne, which we absolutely fell in love with. And then we came up to the Gold Coast. Now, at the Gold Coast, we arrived the day Tom Hanks was diagnosed with coronavirus. And we were literally 2 blocks away from him. So we were in the Gold Coast, and we were going to stay an extra week. Kim's parents came down, and I did the Reluctant Heroes journey there on the last day. They got to come. It was really awesome. There will be video of that somewhere soon. And then we decided to stay, and we stayed in the Gold Coast for that extra week, and then 3 days in Brisbane, and then we were going to go home. Then everything went haywire. Los Angeles lost its mind, and everybody is living in this crazy apocalyptic wasteland, it seems like. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to go. I don't like the tone. I don't like the tempo. I don't like what's happening there. Not a fan of hoarding and just the general fear. And I couldn't. I was like, no, I'm going to stay here in Australia. It was the best choice we could have possibly made. And but I've had podcasts about the fear and the craziness and all that, and we'll talk more about that as it goes. This is the first podcast since all this crazy Corona stuff started, so I'm probably going to put this up to the top of the heap and add the other ones later on my podcast. So if you're listening to this one, this is probably number 5 or 6 because of the timing, and I'll start adding the other ones in and just saying they're whatever, past, they're old. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but we'll figure that out technical wise. So today I just want to say this is live from Australia, and I'm going to be here until at least June. We know that. So the next probably 10 or more podcasts will all be live from Australia, and we love it. I love Australia. This is the 8th time I've been here. On the other note, I just found out that my podcasts were actually on iTunes yesterday. So they've been up there for a month and I didn't know. So now I'm going back and having to tweak a lot of the technical aspects of it. And I'm not the most techie cat, so I'm learning a lot right now. Which brings me to today's subject for the podcast. It's okay to suck until you don't. It's all right to not know everything going in. All right? Let me write this. I got a little note here about regret. There we go. So let me talk to you about this from several different angles. First off, this is the best way to get off your back, because whatever you did in the past, you did with all of the knowledge that you had accumulated to that point, and nothing more. There's no more knowledge that you had at that moment. Now, years later or days later, now you have absolute 20/20 vision on that, and you can see it all. And then you say, well, all right, I look back on what I had and what I did back then, but you're looking at it with eyes that you have now. I did an entire podcast on this. It's called Hindsight Isn't 20/20. Hindsight is kind of a dick. Kind of like this guy who's on here right now, who read, if you want to bounce him, that's totally fine. So what's going on in your head is you're kind of beating yourself up over something you had no control over back then because you can't go back in time. Know what I'm saying? So here's the point. Let's go forward now, because remember, you did not automatically come into this world knowing everything. Get the point? You had to learn to walk. Look at a baby. So I've got a toddler who's running around, and we're trying to figure all this out. We're trying to figure out how to get him to potty trained, or how to get him to say thank you, or how to get him to say you're welcome or please, that sort of thing. And we have to teach him. We have to train him. Just like you had to get trained to do whatever it is you're doing now. You're learning. You're learning from step one, and at step one, you stumble. You fall down. And then you get back up again, and you get better. Hopefully you get better with each step, right? And that's why it's okay to suck at something until you don't suck anymore. As you go a little bit further, you suck less. You know, that's what's so cool. It's like going, man, I suck at this. This is the worst thing I've ever done. Yeah. And that's when most people stop. And they don't continue. They don't improve. So don't let not being great at something stop you. Look, my podcast is, you listen to my first podcast, and then you're going to listen to my 100th podcast down the road. I'm going to have so much more on the ball, man. I'm going to know what's going on by then. And I'll look back at my first podcast and I can say, wow, that sucks. No, it was great for what I was doing at the time. It was amazing. You know, I played tennis. Let's go with that. If you play a sport or something, you have to start somewhere. I played tennis when I was young. I was like 11th in the state of Oklahoma when I was 13 or so, you know, and I played and I was pretty darn good, I thought. But I was 11th, so there was all these people that were better than me in the state, and then there were all the people in other states and other countries, et cetera, et cetera. So what that means is I needed to get better. And I had to play, I had to practice, I had to go daily, consistently to get better. And that's how you do it. But if you beat yourself up while you're not really, really good yet, you're never going to take the next step to get better. And that's the thing where I'm just like, you know what? I want to share with you that I suck at stuff. Right now, I suck at stuff. I'll tell you, man, I suck at this whole technical thing, but you know what? Every day I'm getting better. I didn't know what the hell how to drop the bit rate on Twitch to make the video smoother, but I figured it out, and hopefully it worked. And if it doesn't work, guess what? I'm going to figure it out. I will look at another way. I'll tweak this, I'll tweak that. You know, we'll figure it out. But I'm not going to say, wow, I suck, I'm quitting, the end. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I want you to think about. In any endeavor that you're doing right now, it's okay to not be the best. Which brings me to perfectionism. Now, this is something that some of you probably suffer from. And I hate to tell you, perfectionism is a freaking lie. Yup. Ooh, see that bird just went right after I said that? That was like an exclamation point from nature. Thank you very much. So what is perfectionism? Perfectionism is fear. Think about that for a second. I talked about this the other day. Perfectionism is fear if you're not actively perfecting something. If your quote-unquote perfection is keeping you from doing something, then it is absolutely out of fear. Because as Brendan Bouchard, my wife's coach, one of my coaches, is an amazing coach. You should look him up and train with him because he's phenomenal. He's Oprah's coach. I know, I say that all the time. I got to let you guys know. He's for real. One of the things he said, we were at HPX, High Performance Experience, a few months ago, a month and a half ago, something. Anyway, there he said something that was very, very key, and it just really resonated with me. I said, perfectionism is the fear because you cannot, by definition, perfect something until you release it. So if you're a writer and you're writing an article and you're like, I've got to get it absolutely 100% right before I can release it. Or video, I've got to get the video right, I get the podcast right, I've got to get this right, that right, my book that I'm writing, it's got to be just right. Anything that you're doing that you keep saying it's just got to be right, and yet you're not releasing it, then that is simple, straight out fear. And that's something you have to look at, because if it is fear, it's keeping you from the success that you actually want. And it's this cycle. It's like that hamster in a wheel. It's just going to keep going and going and going, and you're not going to have the success that you want because you never actually get in the race. That's what perfectionism is stopping you from doing. So what you do is you release something. You release a podcast, you release a book, you release that article, your blog, your song, a piece of work, whatever it is, you have to release it. Because only then can you get the feedback that you need to fix it. And when you fix something, you perfect it. Therefore, if something is not working, aka sucking, then you release it. Or you don't even have to release it out to everybody. You release it to some friends, whatever this project is. Movie studios do this all the time. They say, hey, come to a free screening of whatever movie. You go to the screening and you watch the movie. Chances are very good that that movie will not be the same movie that gets released to all of the actual movie theaters, because they're releasing it to perfect it. And that's the way you have to look at your life. Because if you judge yourself for something before you release it, that's judging yourself for sucking at something. And you can suck at something until you don't. But you're not going to know until you release that thing, whatever it is you want to release. Now, another problem with sucking until you don't is that perfectionism, that fear, it's not perfectionism. It can also be fear of judgment. If you don't get it 100% right, people are going to give you crap about it. Guess what, my friends? No matter what you do, no matter how good you are, someone is always going to troll you. Someone is always going to have something snippy to say. There are people in this world who, no matter what, are going to say something, or not like you, or not like your product, or prefer a different product and announce it vociferously against your product. Whatever it is, it does not matter. That is going to happen every time, no matter what you have, no matter what you do. So get used to that. And that's okay. Again, you can look at them and go, hey, thanks for that input. Now that when you're done being a jackass, do you have any actual constructive criticism for me, a way that maybe I can improve it? That'll turn them around. I'm going to piss them off a little bit, but that's what I call a change of state. Bitch slap them for a second. Now, I'll give you a prime example of how I did all of this in my dating world. As most of you know, I released a book called Food Game, A Man's Ultimate Recipe for Dating Success, which went to #1 in 2 categories on Amazon. And I've made no money off of it because I haven't really sold that many of them, but I haven't really pushed it. I haven't really, I got it out there, and I kept quote unquote perfecting it, and I finally said, you know what, I'm just going to throw it out there and it's done. And I will market it more later, but it's actually there. So I did one launch. Now the reason I'm telling you that is because I procrastinated on that for 20 years. 20. I wanted to write that book back in the 90s when I was married to my first wife. And I thought I had a really good situation. I wanted to help other guys because I loved to cook. And I was like, man, what a great way to date, And as the universe does in so many ways, sometimes it says, you know what? You're not ready to release this book. So let me hand you some challenges and see if you really want to write this book. And then I got divorced, bankruptcy, losing everything, moving to LA. Some of you know the story. And I had to start over from scratch. So I had to start dating all over again with nothing. And so what could I do? Well, I had no money really, but I could cook really well. So that's how I dated. That's how I perfected the food game dating strategy system. Because I lived it. I did it. Now, I failed miserably sometimes, guys. Miserably. Because I was in a bad spot in my mind. I was a work in progress. So sometimes something would set me off and I would act stupid, drink too much, or whatever. I'd be general ass to somebody, and I didn't mean to, but I was working with old things from my past. And when that happened, yes, it was sucking, and I had to fix that, and I had to learn from that. So I was like, okay, back to the drawing board. Why did I act that way? Why did I react that way? How can I fix this and learn from that? And then I would learn. So I would improve and I would move forward. And one of the things that I did was, for example, most of you guys probably online for online dating. You have a profile on Plenty of Fish or whatever they are, all of them. There's so many of them. But I had some online dating profiles going, and I was tweaking all the time to see how I could get better responses. And for women that I would contact and talk to for a minute and then they'd disappear, I would actually reach out to them and say, hey, I know we didn't connect or anything, but I wanted to see if I could get some active input from you so that I could improve. I'm looking to be the best man, husband, friend, lover, yada, 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 that I can be. And any input is always, constructive criticism is always welcome so I can be a better man. Many of the women were like, wow, that is really amazing. Well, here's a couple of things that kind of turn me off on you, but you're just not my style or whatever. And then, but here's a couple of things that you could do that I think would be good for you. And that was really, really nice. Some of the women were straight up bitches. Sorry, but they were just, like, man, what's the matter with you? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, wow, a man who is looking to better himself and you're spitting on that? That's your problem, not mine. Which is another aspect of, hey, it's okay to suck until you don't, because some of the stuff that people give you, it's their stuff, not yours. Their stuff, not yours. People who are trolling you, they don't give a crap about you. They're not upset about your message or your product or who you are, how you're coming across. They're just messed up inside. And they have to release that. It's called, Brendan says, hurt people hurt people. Now that may have been said for, decades. I don't know. But it is really, really true. Hurt people hurt people. Like most bullies are hurt people. And they have been hurt, and that's how they express themselves because that's what they know. That's the language they know. And that's why you really can't worry about the judgment, the fear of judgment. You can't worry about that. The fear of perfectionism, you can't worry about that. We've already gone over that. It's okay to suck until you don't. Because there's something that you used to really suck at. I know it because we all used to suck at everything. Get it? We all sucked at everything. We weren't born out of the womb knowing how to drive. We weren't born out of the womb knowing how to do voices and stuff. We weren't born out of the womb being able to walk, talk, laugh even. They could cry. That's the only thing we got. We can come out of the room. Rah! That's about it. We can poop, we can pee, we can cry. And sometimes when something doesn't go right, that's how we react now, isn't it? My launch failed. Ah! Oh. Rough days indeed. And I know a lot of us feel that way right now with all the craziness going on with the coronavirus and businesses failing. There's going to be a lot of work to be had. A lot of people are going to be suffering. A lot of people are going to lose their livelihoods. They're going to lose, families are going to break up. Businesses are going to tank. Real estate is going to go away. There's so many things. This is going to go into a full-on recession, possibly depression. That is just fact. I mean, you cannot stop businesses from running. and have them survive. We've already lost our first wave of so many things, and there's a lot more coming, and that's a shame. So what we're going to need is a lot of internal work. I've got to cue the helicopter flying overhead. You know, I haven't heard helicopters here except until I start my podcast. God bless you, helicopters. So my point is, we need to work on our internals. We need to work on how we feel inside, because if you are pinned down by fear of perfectionism or the fear of judgment, add to that the fear of the uncertainty, which, by the way, I posted a note today that said, hey, why are we fearing uncertainty now? We have uncertainty every single day. None of us knows what's going to happen in the next second, in the next minute, in the next day, week, month, or year. None of us. It can happen, it can change in a snap. So why is it suddenly this quote-unquote uncertainty is weighing so heavy on everybody? You know, that's been every day. So let's take that out of the equation. And just, if we know and realize there is uncertainty, then there's nothing to be afraid of, because we didn't know this was going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen next. Okay? So if we can take away the fear by looking at it, like I've already showed you, fear of perfectionism, well, you've got to release it to perfect it. Wow, no more fear. You understand there's a process. Fear of judgment, it's really not you, it's them, unless they're giving you actual constructive criticism. In that case, welcome the judgment. A new way of looking at it. Perfect. And this fear of everything else, the uncertainty, we'll take that away. Boom. This is a whole other podcast. I could just go off on this for an hour. But my point is, whatever you're doing right now, if you're thinking, my gosh, I suck because of those three things, or whatever, you're sucking because of whatever excuse you're giving, whatever story you're giving to this thing. It's not that you suck, that it's bad. It's not that you suck because it's, oh my God, I'm just terrible at this. So what? I was terrible at tennis when I started. I was terrible at walking. I was terrible at driving. I failed my first driving test. How about that? So, you know, I failed miserably with lots of women when I was trying to date. I got told no a lot. I'm a voice actor. I get told no for a living. Every audition, 9 out of 10 of them probably. Nope. No, I don't think so. No. Okay. Does it mean I suck? Well, maybe I sucked at that audition, or they just went a different way. Doesn't mean I sucked. So that's okay. And I'll get better and better and better. And if you look at my resume now, I've done a few things. So therefore, and I'm still not anywhere near the top of the game. So, you know, it's also opinion, guys. If you're going to say you suck at something, well, that's your opinion. What is the actual fact? When somebody says, oh man, I suck at that. Okay, well, where are you at that? Well, I'm on this level here. Okay, well, where were you when you started? Oh, I was down here, man. I was not very good. I was really... Okay, so wait a minute. So you say you suck, and yet you're already improved at a certain level. And you're at a better level than you were when you started, right? Yes. Then how can you suck? You've improved. You're better when you started. What is the suck baseline? The suck baseline is, I can't do that thing at all. If you can do anything at all, you're above the base suck level. So you don't suck at all. You suck at a certain level until you don't. So look at it that way. It's like, that's fine. Sucking ain't a problem because you're going to get better. And then one day you go, wow, not only do I not suck, I'm good at this. I'm good at what I do. That's pretty amazing. And that comes with a mind shift, guys. Because if you keep thinking you suck, you're going to get what you asked for. And you say, wow, I suck. One day you're going to have to shift your mind and go, wow, you know what? I really don't suck. And that day is the shift. It's okay to suck. Don't beat yourself up about it. That just adds more pressure to you. But that one day when you go, you know what? I don't suck anymore. And that's even better. Know what I'm saying? Prime example with that. Again, the dating world, the attitude, the training that I was going through, all the self-help, all the personal growth. And one day I saw the matrix. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I know she did that because of this, or I saw this over there, and I know how to react to this. And I was just like, dude, I did that way I reacted and the things that I just did, I did that innately. I mean, it was just like smooth. It was natural. I wasn't born with that. I thought I sucked at that. Guess what? I don't anymore. I sucked until I didn't. And that's the shift that's going to happen for you guys. That shift is going to be amazing. And the only way to get to that shift is to get off your own back and realize it's okay to suck until you don't. And the way to get past that is to get past the fears, take steps to get better, welcome criticism, welcome it. It is not a judgment of you. It is a report card of where you are. And it also opens up the door to where you can go. That's what's amazing about it, because when somebody gives you criticism, and I'm talking about active, actual criticism, I'm not talking about opinions, especially ignorant opinions that people will give all the time on socials, Facebook. That's basically trolling. It's like, if somebody gives you an opinion about your book, I'm like, wow, did you read my book? No. Then shut the hell up. You have zero to say. Nothing to say. Did you hear that person do their broadcast, their podcast? And no. Then why are you giving an opinion? Oh, I don't like that person. Have you ever heard anything that they've done? No. Okay, then you have no opinion. So when somebody does that to you, that is not a criticism. That is an opinion, an uninformed, most of the time, opinion. And you can just let that slide and go, hey, you know what? Now I'm discounting everything that you have said before because you don't know. So you don't have any opinion here. You have no power here. So they can go away. And that's totally fine. But if there is a criticism in there that is constructive, that can help you be better, that can help you not suck, then great. You want to welcome that because that gives you the stair steps to reach up to the next plateau and get closer to that point where that sudden realization when you go, whoa, I got this. I'm good at this. I actually know what I'm doing. And eventually, if you're in your what we call zone of genius, which is the natural thing that you do, that you can do like this. I can talk like this all day long on personal growth, self-help, things that I'm passionate about inspiring others and helping others to see things from a different angle. That's my zone of genius. Speaking in front of crowds, that's my zone of genius. And so when somebody tells me like, oh, well, you didn't do this right, or you didn't do this right, or that, or blah, blah, blah. First thing I'm going to go is, okay, well, A, who are you? How do you know? And where's this coming from? Are you trolling, or is it a constructive criticism? Instead of reacting. That's a different energy. And you don't have that when you stop that whole sucking thing. When you make that shift and you go, whoa, you know what? I don't suck anymore. That way, when somebody says something, go, excuse me, no, I know what I'm doing. Now, do you have a criticism for me, or are you just gonna, be an asshat? No asshats allowed. I don't do that. Meh. So that's where we're gonna end this today. I hope you got something out of this today. I hope you were able to look at things from a different angle and get off your own back and allow yourself some grace to say it is okay to be at the level where I am now. Whatever level that is that I am at right now, I'm at now. That's it. I can't be better. I can't be worse. I'm at that level right now. Now, 1 minute from now, I could be better. 1 second from now, I can be better. But when you're saying right now, where I am right now is as good as I am right now, that's it. That's exactly where it is. You are there right now. 10 seconds later, I'm right there. I'm there right now. Understand the Power of Now. That's another book you want to read. But once you get the idea, you are exactly where you are right now. And that is perfect. Perfect. Now, what are you going to do next? Are you going to take a step towards getting better, or are you going to wallow in the past? That is your choice, and I'm going to leave you with that today. Remember, it's okay to suck until you don't. Thank you so much for listening to the Mind Scrambler podcast, this first episode from Australia. And there will be more coming up very, very soon. Thank you so much. Check out my Twitch stream at Spike Spencer Speaks. And go to my website, spikespencer.com, my podcast, my voiceover. There's so much there. That is the hub of the Spike Spencer universe, spikespencer.com. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe, stay sane, and I'll see you next time. There you go, guys. That was the podcast. Thank you all for hanging out there. I want to say, Red, thank you so much for dealing with my whatever, those guys, because Anons is not a good-looking fella. Sorry, I know better than that. That's pretty much it. That was, if you guys have any questions, now we've got our chit-chat afterwards. And thank you, Captain Nim. I appreciate that. Thank you there. I'm a gay robot. I hope you got some good value out of that, because this is something that I've been looking at, and I get on my own back. See, a lot of these things that I tell you guys, it's because I've gone through it myself, and I've gone through so many different things, I guess. I mean, so many challenges and trials in my life, and I've had to learn a lot, and I have learned a lot, and I've got a lot to give. So this was a good one for me today. I think, I don't know how I'm going to post these, because all of my other ones are past podcasts. I may just go through all my other podcasts, get them up to speed, and then say, this is the one from Australia, just to get the other ones out of the way, because, I want you guys to listen to them all, but this one is the most timely. So I will start probably marketing with this one, saying, all right, go to my podcast, here's this one as soon as I release this, and then you can listen to my old podcast. I think that's something like that. I did tell the user what a nonce is. Good. Good. I appreciate that. I don't know exactly what it is, but I'm fairly certain. I know it's not good. So it's one of those weird things over here on Twitch. Somebody who started, I had a troll while I was doing this. It's interesting. So if you guys have any questions about it, please, let's talk it up right now. Because, I'm in the middle of this. I am constantly redoing things. I'm constantly redoing my Twitch feeds. I just spent, I don't know how much money on, this thing here and this thing over here, and I bought this thing here, and I've got, all sorts of things I'm trying to figure out. So, yeah, as far as Twitch goes, yeah, I suck. So what? I'm not going to. I'm in the process of not sucking. And it's okay, because tomorrow I'll suck less. And then one day I'm like going, Uncle, bam, dude, I am doing really good here. Making semi-good value. Oh, yeah. No, I know it. Every time I'm paying with things in Australian money, but I'm like going, dude, this is really a good deal. If I was paying, American dollars, I'm looking at it as like it's $100. I'm like, that's like $60. Awesome. Love it. Throw it down. Like I said, I love Australia so much. I could live here. I do live here right now for a little while. But yeah, I could move here for good. I don't know how the things that I'm working in, just waiting in queue at the supermarket. Hey, no problem there. My wife and the boy are at the supermarket right now, getting us some stuff. I think tonight we're going to have some freaking pizza. It has been a long time since I've had some pizza. Now that I'm gluten-free, it won't be the best pizza, but it'll be gluten-free. So it'll be all right. We're going to do that. Oh, that felt good to get that off my chest. Yeah. Oh, man. So, pizza, capers, reef, and beef. What? What's that? Pizza, capers, reef, and beef. You task me with the pizza. Pizza home. Pizza. You bet. Please check out on your way out. Good to see a strong presence out. Please check out. Really? Wow. Best pizza delivery. All right. Having emojis for Twitch. Yes, I'm going to work on emojis. I'm trying to figure out, now I've read for the emojis that it's kind of good to have them, I want to have them branded to me, and I don't have any particular brand except my hair. I think that's a pretty good one. So a lot of emotes with my face, kind of, the scared emote, happy emote, fun things like that. I think that would probably work out pretty well. What do you guys think? You tell me. Because I know they need to be original. And I'm a pretty original guy. Just saying. My hair, however, right now, I need to cut it a little bit because it's kind of out there. It's starting to get that wavy thing on the top. So it does look more like my Mind Scrambler show, because whenever I had that picture, they actually gave me a little too much hair there. But that's kind of how it was that day. So I'm like, you know what? I'll leave it there. So my hair's a little bit shorter, a little bit higher. It's all good. Some different major travel routes. Stopping all essential travel. Yeah, okay. All non-essential travel, yeah. So, yeah, it's crazy time out there, guys. And I just heard today that they are going to extend the lockdown for LA another month. So it's going to be till May 15th at least that everybody is locked down in their houses. That means no businesses. That means a lot of businesses are going to fail. And this is the problem. People are like going, oh my God, it's good. Let them fail because, people won't die. I'm like, people are dying every day, guys. And I don't mean to be harsh and callous, but I also got to mean, hey, you got to be careful with what's going on, because people are going to die because they don't have money. People are going to die because they lose their jobs. People are going to die because they lose insurance, etc. That's harsh. There's got to be a middle road somewhere. There's got to be something else we can do. I don't know what it is. I wish that I knew. Oh my God, a Shinji screaming emoji. How could I have a me getting in a robot emoji? I don't know if that's even possible. It'd be too much. But we got to see what's, there's going to be a lot, like I said, in the podcast. There's a lot that's happening, guys. And there's a lot of work that needs to be done internally because people are living in so much fear. And that's what we were talking about today on our podcasting mastermind group. And these are people that are, top notch and amazing. And we're all having other masterminds and other meetings with high level, coaches in business. And people are like, wow, this is needed more than ever. What I'm doing with you guys here is needed more than ever because people need to hear a different message than they're getting in the mainstream world. Most people are either completely suppressing or not even looking at it, and like, I'm just going to play video games and I'm going to watch Netflix and that's it. The world is going to go out there and I'm not even going to deal with it. And then 2 months down the road, when there's no money left and there's no food left, it's like, oh my God, I've got to do something. Well, you've done nothing for the last 2 months. When you might be able to do a little something here and there. I get it. It's hard, guys. I watch Netflix. I would play video games. I love video games. I also know, hey, my voiceover career is in the tank right now. I have not had a job in a couple months. At all, guys. At all. No paychecks. Nothing. Zero. Zilch. Nada. The big goose egg. Nathan. So I have to come up with some other projects. I have to get more coaching clients. I have to focus on the other things that I can do. A lot of you guys, it's like, wow, what am I going to do now? I have to do something else. It's actually interesting because, when the United States started, everybody had their own business. That's how they did it. Everyone was, I'm a farmer, I'm a baker, I'm a cook, I'm a chef, I'm a whatever it is. I'm the apothecary. Whatever it is, that's how it worked. And people worked together that way. And that's what people are doing now. And here's the beautiful thing, guys. We have the internet. We have unlimited information at our fingertips. How many people are doing that? How many people are going and saying, wow, okay, how do I do this? How do I start my own business? How do I, how do I move forward? How do I make this? How do I make that? That's all I'm doing, guys. I'm just like, okay, how do I make this work? How do I go forward? How do I make this? How do I do this? How do I put this together? The beautiful thing is there's going to be a lot of people that make a lot of money, build a lot of businesses during this time, and are going to be able to employ people that got laid off. That's how it works. So there's a lot of opportunity, a lot of tragedy. It's going to happen. There's opportunity and tragedy every freaking day, guys. So let's all get over that. Take a deep breath. And don't live in fear. Spread some love and that good, solid criticism to help people improve. And talk about what is my favorite video game. I don't have a favorite video game because I don't play them. However, if I could play something right now, it would probably be Crash Bandicoot. I've already played 1, 2, and 3. But I really like that. I like fun video games like that. I used to love Descent on the PlayStation 1. I like that. I like shooter games like that. I'm not crazy about the ones that, like, you're the first person shooter and you run around, zombie, bam, 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 that kind of thing. I do like in the ship, though, which is cool. I mean, they're classics, yeah. As a matter of fact, it's funny, my wife got me Kim, you know Kim. Kim got me that Atari that's just the joystick and has like 10 of the original games in it. And I was like, that's so cool. I plug it in, I start playing, I'm like going, I'm bored. I'm bored. Missile command. I'm out. You know, I mean, I could play like Centipede and Millipede. Those are pretty cool because those are move. And I was like, oh, move fast. But I used to love, and I'm so excited, Ryan Reynolds is they're going to make a movie out of it, Dragon's Lair. That was my favorite. I used to love it. And I only got past like the first like level. I mean, I sucked at it. And I never did until I didn't. I just sucked at it. And I just love that. There was that and then one called Space Ace. And those were like, oh my God, these are amazing. You know, this was back in the early 80s. But like Defender, I used to love Defender. Donkey Kong, but I never even got past like level 3 on Donkey Kong. I played a lot, man. I played as much as I could. I mean, it was $0.25 a game back then. That was expensive, people. But I mean, I would love to have a nice system because once you get the new system, you can play most of the old ones on the new system and above, right? So, I don't know. I think as Declan gets older, I mean, in 10 years, we'll definitely have something. But God knows what's going to happen in 10 years. In 10 years, it'll be a hat. Here you go. Here's my video game hat, and now he's in the game. I'm just like, wow. It'll be Ready Player One or something like that. Who knows what's going to happen? But I do like. I like some video games, man. I don't even know what's out, so I couldn't even tell you. I think I played Mario. I think I played Mario Brothers like 1 on a Nintendo 1. I think it was. So I know a little bit about the mushrooms and the bopping and getting coins and all that. But other than that, I don't know. Exactly. Dragon's Lair, Don Bluth movies. Yep. All dogs do go to heaven. So, let's see. Luigi, my favorite movie? Easy peasy. I'll give you my top 3. My favorite movie of all time is Big Trouble in Little China. My number 2 favorite movie of all time is Buckaroo Banzai. The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension. And my 3rd favorite movie is Snatch. Love those 3 movies. I can watch them over and over again. And now, I think that's bopped up there near the top is The Greatest Showman. That is an amazing movie. If you want to be uplifted right now during all of this, watch The Greatest Showman. I am not like a musical movie guy. I'm like, a musical movie? I'm not my thing. I watched it, and then I watched it like 5 to 10 times in a row. I was just like, I am obsessed with this movie. And the funny thing is, my one of our coaches, who was Tony Robbins' vice president for 20 years of marketing, he said, we were texting him back and forth. He said, oh yeah, The Greatest Showman. This is the closest thing you're going to get to a Tony Robbins event, is this movie. And now Kim has gone to Tony Robbins' Business Mastery for a week in Florida. She's like, oh yeah, it's insane and amazing. So, All right, guys, that is my hour. I'm going to leave you guys with that today. I hope you enjoyed the podcast and look forward to getting it up on my site, up on Apple iTunes, up on Lisbon, up on all those places. See, that's something I suck at right now. So I'm going to get better until I don't. And I'm going to figure out where it all goes. Thanks so much for being on Twitch, guys. Everybody over here on Unlocked, please go to Twitch, Spike Spencer Speaks. Please follow me and start watching me on Twitch. I'm going to build up these numbers over here. This community is going to be on Twitch, not on Unlocked, because it's just not going to work. It's not going to happen that way. All right, guys. Twitch, I'm out. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.